We're going to discuss the day-to-day life of one spiritual who has to live in the world, and they don't mind it. In fact, that's why they're here. They want to live in the world, even though they're completely mystical, and would always appreciate being up in the hills, the mountains with the holy ones, or off on a farm somewhere. But our day-to-day experience, the cries that we help, we alleviate the pain, we absorb the guilt, the remorse, as well as the hatred of all living things. Because to us, the only living thing is God, that a sublime atmosphere that the spiritual people among us are aware of. Might be considered mystical, poetic, artistic, kindly, human, endearing, and very pure. What's being expressed is about our consciousness. When we're spiritual, there's a purity, a simplicity, an awareness. It has nothing to do with the everyday morality, although a spiritual person would always act in direct accord with what is right or wrong in the human atmosphere, in their family, in the societal structure, but they're always endlessly beyond that. And the last day, in the last hour, just with a whisper of prayer, they won't care anymore. And that's always in their backpack, as it were. There's an end to all this. There's a God. There's a presence that you are always. You are a living soul. You extend infinitely in all directions, in all spiritual atmospheres. Very clearly that the world, according to all deeply mystical spiritual traditions, is an illusion. So you instantly have to step back from the pain, the trauma. We get sideswiped just like everyone else, often much worse because we're pure and innocent. And no man escapes guilt. And if you're smart, through regret, remorse, you become even more pure. You get to understand how the average person lives because you're not really here. Even with your family, I'll use myself as an example because it works. I was never part of anything around me, my family, my school, this, that, the other. All of my siblings and my parents had this atmosphere. Life is very, very hard. 4 sisters, a little brother. My pop was a cop, so he was very, very serious, but he always had deep inside, when there was an affair or a wedding, I would give him a big kiss on the lips in front of 300 people. I love you, Pop, but I wouldn't spend 5 minutes around him because his life was really rough and I was always drifting off somewhere, but always being led of that which the wise among us still call God, to realize this higher plane of existence. And early on in our spiritual life, we just want to give, we want to love, we want to care, we want to heal, we want to help, we have so much compassion. And at a point we realize that, hey, although the certain spiritual ones among us might be grateful for that, the average person is truly lost in hell. This world system, as it is hell, or a hell. It's a mistaken consciousness or it's pure evil. It doesn't matter how you consider it. That which we call God, the endless expanse of spiritual presence that the universe actually is, could not possibly have anything to do with any pain. A hiccup wouldn't happen. Couldn't happen. There is this higher atmosphere called illumination, and you're illumined when you understand it. And all of us who are, we're born that we are. That is, that never wasn't, that will always be, and it's in our consciousness. We feel a warmth, an openness, a kindness. Everything is lit around us, and we can't tell our best friends that all is well. So we'll show compassion for the pain and trauma of everything, and getting back to the point I was beginning to make with this is that at a certain point we'll realize that the world doesn't need to feel all the divinity, all the love, but they have to understand the fact that they're to some degree worshiping the dark force, by believing in the pain, the awfulness, the temptations. So we have to switch our gears from all is well to individually expressing to people how to step aside from their particular temptations. You know, the 7 deadly sins. And that's your gift and your power. So it isn't just drifting off for an hour you're choosing and being aware of the lighted path before you, within you, around you, forever. But it's aiming your spiritual gifts towards those that are worthy, that really have a decent heart and need a break. And you'll fix them. And you'll always know how. There's no book for this. There's not a university professor in the world, or whoever, that can tell you how to do this. You will know. You're a divine emanation. You'll always know how to care, how to consider, how to fix, how to heal, how to back up, how to protect, how to inspire, uplift, all those that you find worthy. You know what that is. Some people just don't belong, and they are actual fingerprints of the devil. And the devil is nothing when you're spiritual. But there are certain people that are lost in all the impressions of these fingerprints, and we have to remove them and heal them and help them and love them, because for all of us at times it's too much, isn't it? At the same time, if you are spiritual, no matter what you've gone through, you know there's a way out, and you're trudging forward, and yes, it's depressing and demoralizing for a while, but you always know exactly what's on you. And depressing and demoralizing are the weapons of the dark force to keep you from this absolute confidence in God that you were born with, that you are, that you never will not be. So you'll walk through all the fields of the trespassers here, and you'll get all the bad ones and put them in a barn somewhere and call them evil. And you won't let them out of the barn until they yield, till you discorrupt them. And either charge them full with the charge of the soul, or no longer allow them existence. That's ultimate enlightenment. That's you. That's your heart's need and desire. We have to protect the innocent. The beginning, you know that no one ever got away with anything. The idea of believing you are your body in this world is the problem. So as soon as we can transfer that thought out of the minds of the good people back into the dirt from which it came, then that's the answer. Was there a question? Except to drift off. Be aware. Be humble, be kind, and there'll be many beautiful voices heralding that which will come during your life. So help me God. There's nothing wrong with you. We are spiritual presences, and the smallest part of us do this aperture called birth into this world. We volunteered for this mission. To God, you are a great hero. You've given up your place in endless divinity to be here as a pinpoint of justice and morality and decency and kindness and truth and awareness, to protect the innocent, to guide the good, and to achieve ultimate nirvana, God consciousness. Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the vision of God. That was yours before time, and you bring it to this earth sphere so that you will illumine the world with you. And there'll no longer be a world. It is a mirage. All the wise know this. You'll find it in all the literature, all the teachings, somewhere. Whether it's mindfulness or whatever, but all these things are, like my friend Chogyam Trungpa, the great Lama, he was a teacher that originally wrote a book about that, I guess in the 70s. But still with that in the back of his thought was the knowledge of divinity. It's the whole idea of the Christian Judeo ethic, is that there is a final justice, that it all has to end somewhere, so you have to believe in something that has the power to destroy evil. Although it is through being mindful and aware, when you get to this place of ending the whole world, which is a different kind of religion, a different kind of spirituality, then you'll understand that there are many voices, and you'll have many impressions and visions, and we'll say like there are channeled books. I have to go into this just to make it very clear for all of us, that and they'll channel the works of the voice of the words of Jesus or something. I've seen them in bookstores over the years, and they're ridiculous. Unless you have the consciousness of Jesus Christ, you can't say what he would think about this or that issue in the world. It's absurd. But you don't have to get angry or disturbed with it, throw the books away. What you have to do is heal and help and redirect everything in consciousness to this higher plane, to this worthwhile place where you'll absorb all the impropriety of the world and provide sanctity, safety for the innocent. Knowing first that you are innocent. The greatest spiritual people ever seem to appear in the world, because to them they're not, are completely innocent. You're here on a mission, and it's in consciousness. That's the war. And it's no big deal to be here for a time and a half a time, in other words, lifetimes, and figure out exactly what the problem is, and you'll heal everything. Every aspect of human spiritual existence. You'll understand how to mend it, how to help it, how to walk side by side with every mother and every child. And then you'll know him, the only God, because you're his, because he's yours, because we are innocent without knowing, and guilty without wanting to be. We've all accidentally stepped on someone's toes, or it would seem the world presents us to it. The more spiritual you are, the more intrusion you are going to get. I say this laughingly because it's true. And you know what I just said. There's nothing wrong with you. If you're born into this world, the greatest saints, they all experience the same thing in thought that you do. Ever seem to be impropriety with a woman or a man or this or that, or you thought something or said something, or as soon as you think there are two bodies in the world, that's the problem. That's the idea of the Garden of Eden, the loss of innocence. There are no bodies. I've lived with spiritual consciousness always, and yet to be here, I have to be here. There's nothing I've escaped. It's on me more than most. But I know the voices and the souls. And I know yours is good. And you'll overcome the wicked one without half trying. It's in simple awareness. Be good, be kind, care, and know that you have the infinite power and purpose of the Almighty with you. And we'll roll it all up like an old moth-bitten blanket. Put it away in a closet somewhere. And there'll be peace on earth. And there'll be no earth, just heaven. For heaven is where you are. Thank you. Thank you for listening.